Hello, this is Michelle Eves, and welcome to the Bold Team, our Tuesday hangout. And before we get started, I'm really excited for this topic, actually. It's one of my favorites. So before I go right into it, let's introduce the panel first. So let's start with Jamie.
Oh, we never start with Jamie. I'm so thrown off. Hey, it's Jamie Donnelly, Internet Mogul. How's everybody tonight? I'm very excited about The Slight Edge. Is one of my newest, favoriteest finds, and Michelle's always, she brings it. Mic drop. I can't wait to see what happens tonight.
Thanks, Jamie. I blew it, too, because I was going to introduce myself as the Internet Mogul and throw you off. Okay, well, so Ellie, come on out.
I always end up in the same spot, whether we start from the first or whatever. Hi, I'm Ellie Walsh, upstate New York. I don't know what I am. But I do know that I've been working from home for a lot of years now. So working from my office, working from my laptop. I am at the other end of the house where Carol is, and I think she's still eating her dinner, so it's a good thing you didn't pick her first. And I'm excited about tonight, because I wrote an email about this, about massive action versus this. So I'm excited. Thank you.
Good, good. Okay, well, I'm glad everybody's excited. Deb, I'm so happy to see you on here. Will you come out?
Yes, thank you. It's so good to be here tonight. I've been missing a lot of good stuff, but I am starting some programs where I can work with newbie people, just like a lot of us are, with mastering the basics of mindset, staying motivated, and all of that good stuff. But it's good to be here tonight. I would introduce myself as the Internet Mogul too, but it just really fits Jamie so much better.
I agree, I agree. Carol, would you come say hi?
Hi. There, I couldn't unmute myself. It wouldn't unmute. Yes, my name is Carol Makowski, and I am, as Ellie says, we're at opposite ends of the house here in upstate New York. I'm an online marketer, and I just finished for the second time the book that Michelle's going to be talking about. So I'm eager to see hear what she has to bring out of this.
All right, well, thank you. I actually only got through half the book so far, so another hangout will be devoted to the second half of the book. I thought, hey, why not spread it out, right? Mm-hmm. So, okay, like we said, this is based on The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson, and it's a book that talks about things that we know we need to do, okay? There's a little hint there in case you don't know what the slight edge is, but we don't do them. So have you ever been told that if you want something bad enough, you'll get it? Well, Jeff says that's not necessarily true, okay? And not wanting something bad enough and working really, really hard at it, he says it doesn't necessarily mean that you'll get it without the slight edge. And I have to disagree with him here. I have a few notes here. I have to disagree with him here on that, because yes, if you want something bad enough, and if you work really, really, really hard to get it, you'll get it. But I guarantee you 100%, if you do not apply the slight edge, you will lose it. All right, so we have all these how to do this, how to do that. That's the answer, we think. How to market on Facebook, and it's not the information that's going to make us successful. Okay, it's not the information; it's how you do it. The emphasis, the attitude behind how you do what you need to do. All right, now I'm being vague. I know I'm being vague, but I'm being vague for a reason, okay? So you know, we have access to the right information from everywhere, okay? But if that was the answer, then we would all be rich. We would all be happy and healthy and fulfilled, and I'm pretty sure that most of us are none of those things, okay? So why not? You know, we know the answer. We're just not applying it, all right? So the slight edge is the missing secret ingredient. It's an ingredient that once you grasp it, it will cause you to find those answers and to apply those answers and to live those answers and to achieve the results that you want. And no matter what, in any area of your life that you want to change. All right, so what is it? Well, do not close this webinar because I tell you that it's your philosophy. Nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to hear the mindset thing, and it's not necessarily your mindset. So give me a few minutes. Don't close the webinar, okay? So your philosophy, all right? By that he means changing the way you think about simple, everyday things. Once you do that, then, and once you take the steps that you need to take to lead the light, that you need to take that will lead you to how to apply those how-tos, that's when you will tweak your life and find success. The reason why diet centers, self-help centers, gyms, weight loss programs, the reason that they don't work for most people is the same reason why most books and courses don't work for most people. It's not that the actions are wrong. They're right. It's that we don't keep doing them. So, maybe we're getting a little closer to what the slight edge is, all right? It's the attitude behind the actions. So the reason why lottery winners lose everything, all right? It's the reason why celebrities and athletes and musicians, they find success, they find the notoriety, and then all of a sudden they plummet to the darkest places. It's they worked hard and they got where they got and they found the success, but they didn't apply the slight edge. The winnings and the notoriety may have changed their bank account, but it didn't change their philosophy. So that's what Jeff Olson calls the quantum leap. We all want it now. We want it fast. We don't want to wait. We want the notoriety. We're willing to work for it, okay? But if we don't change our philosophy about it, we might get what we want, but then we'll lose it. So there's a story of a man, a wealthy man who had 2 sons. The man was dying. You might have heard this before. He was dying, and he wanted to give his sons their inheritance before he died because he wanted to be able to watch them enjoy it. And so he called his sons into the room, and he said, I have 2 choices for you. You need to make the choice. Tell me what choice you make tomorrow. All right, so you have all night to think about it. So he said, you can either have $1 million given to you right now tomorrow, or you can have 1 penny doubled for the next 30 days. So tell me what you choose tomorrow. Go think about it, okay? So I'm sure you've heard the penny one, all right? So they go to bed, and the one son's like, well, heck, I'm not going to wait for my million. You know, well, who wants a penny? You know, so he's like, I know that I'm going to choose the million. So, you know, I'm just going to go to sleep. The other son thinks maybe there's something behind what his father's trying to tell him. So he picks up a book and he reads. And he reads a couple of stories. One is about the frog that I told you last week, if you were on the Hangout last week. You know, there's 2 frogs, and they come across this big pail of cream. And so they think, oh my gosh, yeah, there's a whole big pail of cream. Never saw this big thing before, so let's go swim in it and drink all we want to drink. So they go do that, but then when it comes time that they're full, they want to jump out, they can't get out. It's too big, it's too deep. And they try and they try and they try, and they're sliding down the side. I mean, they try and they fail. They can't get out. They can't get a grasp on anything. So one frog says, well, I give up. I give up. I'm just going to float away and die because we'll never get out of this pail. And so he does. He floats away and he dies. The other frog, I'm sure it didn't happen that fast, but the other frog, he's like, all right, well, I'm not going to give up. So he swims around and he tries and he tries and he keeps it up and he keeps it up and he keeps it up. And all of a sudden, his foot hits something solid and he's able to jump out of the pail. It was his consistent actions that allowed him to churn that cream into butter enough to where he could touch it with his foot and jump out of the pail. All right? So the son didn't quite understand what the stories was telling him, but he thought, all right, well, let me sleep on it. Okay? So the next day, the first son says, well, I want the $1 million. You know, so he gets the $1 million. He's got this brilliant idea. I am going to turn it into millions and millions of dollars by investing. So he hires all these financial advisors and all these people, and they get together for a whole month and decide, okay, what we're going to invest it in and what we're going to do and all that stuff. The second son comes to his father and goes, I think I'm going to take the penny. And at the end of the 30 days, the first son, his financial advisor, came to him and said, well, I got some good news. We were able to build that $1 million to $1.5 million. You know, that's pretty good in 30 days. And the son's like, ah, that's awesome. And he's like, but I have bad news. You know, it cost you almost $2 million. So he lost money. The second son, that penny doubled every single day for 30 days, and it turned into $10 million. So what does that have to do with the slight edge? All right, well, it's the little decisions. Oh, okay, so I'm sorry. I looked at my notes. So what exactly is the slight edge based on that story? All right, I'm going to tell you. It's the little decisions, the simple productive actions repeated consistently over time. They are the things that are very easy to do and things that are very easy not to do. So I know that this is not new to you. It's not new to me. It's not new to anybody on the panel here. We've all heard it before. We know it, but I've never heard it told to me quite this way as Jeff Olson did in the book. So, you know, there are things that we do every single day, things that are not dramatic, things that don't even look like they matter, but they do matter. It's the steady, repeated action of the water that will smooth a hardest rock into, well, that will turn a hard rock into a smooth surface and even create the Grand Canyon. Consistent, daily action. Now, I know that you've heard that quote that says the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. And we take that quote and we think about it and we're like, okay, well, that means we just start. And it's true. We start. That's the single step. But then most people don't look beyond that. All right? So if you want to end your journey of 1,000 miles, that means that it's not one step that you need to take. It's that step and the step after that and the next step and the next step and the next step until you reach the 1,000 miles. That one first step is very important. You know, you start, but then you've got to continue. You've got to continue taking the steps. So like Starbucks, okay? Let's take your financials, for example. Everybody uses this example too. Starbucks, I don't know how much it costs. Like, I don't know, $5, $6, $10 by now. I have no idea. But I heard it's good. I don't like coffee, but I heard it's really good. So instead of buying your Starbucks and spending $5, $10 a day, you can make your own coffee. The horror. I mean, I know, how dare I say that, right? But it's true, okay? So think about it. We know that we'd save $25 a week if we bought, or if we made our own coffee. You know, if we sacrificed that Starbucks coffee, $25 a week. I'm not going to add it up for you by the end of the year how much you would save. I'm using that as an example because it is a choice that you make every single day. It is that choice that you make to buy that coffee or not to buy that coffee. And that's what I'm talking about when I say the simple actions that are easy to do and easy not to do. All right? So, you know, most of us do what we need to do until we find the success that we're looking for. Okay? And then without realizing it, we stop doing what it was that got us there. And the roller coaster starts. You know, we grind and we grind and we do what we need to do every single day, and we find that success, and then we stop doing what we need to do, and then we go back down. And then we find ourselves, oh crap, we're back down to where we were before. So now I got to do content every day again. So we do the content every single day, and you know, we find that success again, and then we stop doing, and then we go back down. And it's the roller coaster that everybody lives on, all right? It doesn't mean that it's some brilliant, impossible thing that you need to do every day. It's the easy stuff, okay? We know we need to do content every single day and share it every single day and meet 5 new people on social media or wherever every single day, okay? And we'll do that, and then we'll find the success. But then we need to continue creating content every single day, sharing it every single day, and meeting 5 to 10 new people every single day. So, you know, where you are right this minute, right now, and Mark Herbert says this, and I love it because it's so true. Where you are right now is the direct result of the actions that you took 90 days ago. So if I'm not in the place where I want to be right now, it's because what I didn't do or what I did do 90 days ago. And that's the problem with the slight edge, because it cuts both ways. You can be productive and it carries you towards success, or you can be careless with it and it will pull you down towards failure. Simple, productive actions repeated consistently over time, or simple errors in judgment repeated consistently over time. Okay, so the slight edge is not a magic bullet. It's not a quick fix. All you need is some good information, and then you need to apply the slight edge. So diets do work. Gym memberships do work. Solid business plans, they will make you wealthy, and personal development will make you happier and more productive and more successful, just not without the slight edge. So most people don't stick with it because they can't see far enough ahead. They can't see the results. It's invisible. It's too far in the future. So you need to look through the lens of the slight edge. And that's where I'm talking about. You need to do those consistent things every day. Creating the content, sharing the content, meeting new people. And then you need to continue doing it. And you know that in 90 days, you'll be further than where you are right now. And in a year or two, you'll be way further than you are right now. But you're not going to stop after you find that success that you want, or we'll lose it all. So we know that we know what we're supposed to do. We know we're supposed to eat fresh fruits and vegetables. All right, whole salads, grains, less red meat, more poultry and fish. We know what we need to do, but we still go out and eat cheeseburgers and fries. All right? And we know that it's not going to kill us today, right? If you took a Wendy's Baconator and you ate it and you had a near-fatal heart attack right after that, would you have another cheeseburger for a while? No. But we know that the cheeseburger we ate today and the cheeseburger we ate tomorrow, or eat tomorrow and the day after and day after, may not kill us this week, but in 20 years, 30 years, all of that stuff adds up. All right? So, you know, it's not what you do today or tomorrow that's going to put on the 20 pounds. And you won't suddenly lose all your muscle tone or ruin your health today. And it's the same with your financial habits and your knowledge and your relationships and your marriage and your spiritual health and with anything and everything. The difference between success and failure, between achieving the quality of life you want and settling for less than what you desire and what you deserve, is whether you take the mundane actions and not necessarily 100%. Okay, sorry. The difference between success and failure, that makes sense to me. The difference between success and failure, between achieving the quality of life you want and settling for less than you desire and deserve, lies in not whether you take the mundane actions or not, but it's which of those mundane actions you're going to choose to do every day. So no matter what you have done in your life up to today, no matter where you are or how far down you may have slid on the failure curve, you can start fresh. You can start building a positive pattern of success at any time, including right now. But you have to have faith in the process because you won't see it happening at first. So the difference between success and failure is not dramatic. In fact, it's so subtle, so mundane that most people miss it. Most people think what I do right now doesn't matter. But what you do today matters. What you do every day matters. So I hope that you held on with me through this philosophy attitude thing that most people don't like to think about. And that's what I've got. So let's see if anybody in the panel has something they want to talk about.
Yeah, I mentioned in the beginning that this is my second reading of this book. I read it, I don't know, about a year ago or so, and I didn't care for it the first time around. And that was because of my attitude, my perspective toward it. I read some of it, and I interpreted it in such a way that it led me to think that I could easily become very compulsive about the slight edge, and that would drive me insane. So I said, screw that, let me just not bother doing it. And the other thing, in the book somewhere along the line, he mentioned something about getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning. And I don't even think I read the context. I just saw the getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I said, no, this is not for me. Thank you very much. But at Mark Harbert's recommendation, I picked the book up again and tried to be more objective this time and see what I could pull out of it. And yes, I do have to agree with you at this point that it's, just that little bit more each day. And yeah, there are times when I could shut down the computer and just go to bed, or I could stay there another 5 minutes, another 15 minutes, and do a little bit extra, and without driving myself crazy about it, just do it. And yeah, I find that that's helpful for me. So thank you for the presentation.
I totally agree with you. 6 o'clock? 7 o'clock? No. 10 o'clock? Maybe. It's because I stay up till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. So I refuse to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. Anybody else have anything to say?
You wussies. Come on. Let's all wake up tomorrow, 6 a.m. Let's see how we do. I won't throw my toddler into your life. Just wake up at 6 a.m. No, okay. No, but you are a wussy. I mean, no. Michelle, I love you. So I love this book, and the thing I think I've said it in like the last 2 or 3 hangouts, that if it's easy to do, it's easy not to do. That's like his recurring theme there. He says that a lot. Like, and it's true. Think about exercise or taking a vitamins or something, right? Like a certain vitamin. Let's say exercise, because if you don't do it today, it's not going to kill you, right? If you don't do it for a week or a couple months, you're not going to see a difference if you do it or if you don't do it, right? You're not going to really see that difference. But a few months down the line, a few years down the line, it makes a big difference, right? The same thing, like if I ate a cupcake at 10:30 at night every single day, is it going to kill me for a few days? No, every once in a while. But look at me in a year and tell me that those cupcakes aren't adding up to something really big. You know? The same idea. We read every day. We all read. We do our listening to audio or whatever. But if I read today a chapter, tomorrow, will I become a guru? No. If I listen to this audio today, tomorrow, will I be enlightened? No. But if I do it consistently over a period of time, you know, it starts to make a change. You start to build on it, and your actions and your thoughts change. And the same thing with business. If as you go, let's say you're running an ad, you're new to running ads, and you make a little tweak here, a little tweak here, a little tweak here, then you stop for a week, 2 weeks, or more. Then you go back. It's like, oh, geez, we got to learn this all over again. Where's that button again? You know, whoop. Now you're getting it. You make a little tweaks. It's going good. It's going good. You get excited. You spend all your money. Whoop, it's gone. Oh, God, we got to do it again. So you get the idea. If you would just kept consistent, there's like that success curve, and then there's the failure curve they talk about too, right? You're going to get good at it. You're going to build on your skills. And there's something someone said to me that also sticks with me, and that is you're only one tweak or one ad tweak away from your $10,000 month. You know, that magic number, right? You're only one tweak away from a really successful campaign in something. So if you don't always tweak as you go along and take it's not big leaps. It's just little actions every day, right? Then you'll get it makes that difference over time. Right, Michelle?
That's right. Although
Thank you.
I don't know about the Facebook ads. I don't do those. That's your thing.
You know what I'm saying, Michelle.
I know what you're saying. Thank you, Jamie. And I did the toddler thing. I did the 6 o'clock in the morning thing. But now that my teenagers are 16 and older, don't need to do it anymore. Anybody got anything else to say?
Well, I've been up since 4:30 this morning. I don't know. But I'm not a late person either. I'll be long gone in bed by 10 o'clock if we finish our call later. But this has been a great topic. I just started this book this week, as a matter of fact. And I have to say that I've really been lazy. I really don't like to use that word about myself, but I've really been lazy, not in learning what to do, but in doing what I've learned to do. And I think that's where I've gotten tripped up ever since I've been in this business, because I had such a different mindset when I had my business before and I worked from home. I had a design studio and print brokering and things like that, and I worked all the time. I mean, you were on a constant deadline with a client to have their newsletter done or their brochure done, and if you were scheduled to go to press the next morning, you stayed working till the next morning if you had to. I mean, there was no easy out for it. So I kind of got that in my head, and it's like, well, when I start my business this time, I'm not going to do that. I want time freedom. Well, I've had lots of time freedom, and I've learned a lot, but I haven't applied consistently. I'll do a little bit, and then I don't do a little bit. And what I think I've learned from that most of all is there's a lot of people like me that do that. We do a little bit, and then we don't do, and then we do a little bit, and we don't do. I liked one of the things that Diane Hockman said one time, too, is you've got to raise your 0 level. When you start meeting your 5 people a day, once you've met your 5 people a day and you're consistent with that, then raise it to 7 people a day, then raise it to 10 people a day, and constantly take yourself into a new mindset, a new way of thinking, a new way of being. And I think from that, you can be consistent. I know that worked for me for meditation. I've meditated for 250 plus straight days now. I don't even think about not doing it. And getting that into other aspects of my life is my journey that I'm on, and I want to help other people that are challenged with that as well. So it's a good topic tonight. It's a great book. I'm glad I read about it and knew about it a while back, and it's like, I don't want to read that book. But it just wasn't time. But now when I read the first page, it's like I told Steph, I said, can I read this to you? Can I read this to you? It's like, this is it. This is it. So anyway, glad to be here tonight, and glad for everybody to be here with us, and good to hear you talk tonight. Good job.
Thanks, Deb. I'm so excited you're back on here tonight. We've missed you. Yeah, and I don't read. I don't like to read. And I don't take time out of my day to read. I read when I am otherwise occupied a few times a day, and I'll sit there and read extra because that book had sucked me in. And it's an easy read. It's not necessarily the book. Sorry. It's not necessarily the book, it's the message, and the fact that as soon as I read, because I was like, what's the slight edge? What's the slight edge? You know, he took a while to get to it too. And I just kept reading and reading until I got to it. And it was like, it's so simple. And we know it. We know it. It's the things that are easy to do and the things that are easy not to do. Whether it's our will, our darn it, I'm going to eat a cheeseburger today. Well, darn it, I'm going to eat another cheeseburger tomorrow. You know, that's a choice that you make, and that's the choice that later on you are going to deal with. And it goes the same way as well. Putting out content every day, whether it's a blog post or a video or just a really good post or something, makes all the difference. So, Ellie, I'm sure you've got something to say.
Well, I thought right away, this is not philosophical. This is the way your brain works. You do what you do today because you consistently did it. and that's the way your brain works. So all he's talking about is, and making these slight changes, which makes it even easier, right? And then doing it consistently. And then it becomes a habit, you know, and you get a neural pathway. That's all that is. Now, I eat cheeseburgers. If I'm eating a burger, it's a cheeseburger. Sorry, kids. And I'm not worried about that. But you know, this is about anything in your life, and then taking it and applying it to your business. But any kind of changes you want to make in your life, you're not just. This is why I hate that call that we hear on the internet. Massive action. I know we were laughing about it in our own team meeting, you know, and people were, because people get like, huh? What? Huh? What should I even do? You know, just do freaking something, all right? In essence, that's what this book says, just do freaking something. But I think massive action stops more people than it helps. I think people stop, because then they go, I can't do massive action. It's just like an overwhelming thing. It's confusing or it's overwhelming, and it stops them in their tracks. You know, where something like this, and I know when we work with people, we're working piece by piece. Okay, now do this, and get used to doing this, and then do this, and get used to doing this, you know. And that creates neural pathway, because you will see some people that will take massive action, and they don't really know what the hell they're even doing, and they will reach success, and then they will hit the wall. They'll hit the wall, and especially if that way they're doing it stops working, or that business or that company shuts down. They don't even know how they created success. So I have a bad taste in my mouth when I hear massive action. And I'm sure not everybody means it in a bad way, but I'm just like, that is just, it's consistent action. It's consistent action. And I'm not telling you like I'm like so great on that. You know, I have a tendency to live that we are talking about, that roller coaster. You know, yes, I'm doing, and I pull back. And, you know, part of that is my personality. But then I have to realize, okay, part of that personality is a neural pathway. So, you know, like, Ellie, you could bring it out a little bit. You could bring, you know, and I do this. Here I am, I'm stepping back. Here I am, I'm stepping back. Now, I do here I am probably more than but I do step back. You know, I live in the boonies for a reason. Okay? Because I'm stepped back. And when I'm ready to be with people, I put myself out there. So that's an interesting thing, because I think you have to make peace with yourself also. Okay? And too many people try to force things. I say, go do this, go try it. Okay? But one size don't fit all. Okay? So go and do it, and understand the concept of it, understand who you are, and then tweak it, okay, to where it works for you. Because one size fits all looks funny on most about everybody. It's too tight on people, it's too big on people, it's too long, it's too short. It don't work. You know, so to me, and you can't do that. You can't find out what that is until you're doing these kind of things. Now, I liked the book, and I didn't think I was going to like it. That's funny. I was like, oh, what is this damn slight edge thing, right? But you know, to me, what he's really talking about is that's the way your brain works. You need to do something. You need to do it consistently, and then, you know, you'll get a routine. I'm really bad because I don't like schedules. I hate them. You know, kind of like what, you know, Deb was saying. It was like, don't tie me down. Oh, I have to do this at this time, you know. And this last 2 or 3 months I've been terrible because I haven't been using Google Calendar. I'm missing the kids' birthdays. I'm just like, I don't know what day it is. And catching myself, I'm like, damn, I should have sent that email out yesterday. So I have to, it's like pushing me in my face. You know, so that are my slight edge little things that I got to get back to, and I was never good with it. I can't even say I got to get back to. I just got to learn how to use a freaking calendar, you know, some kind of a schedule. I just hate that thing. I feel, to me, I guess it feels like a job. From 2 to 3, I wouldn't do it like that from 2 to 3, but you know, From 2 to 3, you will do this. It's like, no, I ain't doing it from 2 to 3, okay? I'm going to do it from 2:22 to 3:21. You know, I am obstinate like that, okay? So to my own self, I could be like that. So that's very interesting. So, you know, when Kel said she read it again, I thought, oh, I actually enjoyed the book. I should read it again. So I think this is really important, that if people are getting overwhelmed with massive action, they need to read this book, and they need to have a community. They need to have a community. You need to have a mentor. You need to know what the hell you're doing. If you're just coming on here and you're floating around, you know, like all by yourself, you could do it, but I advise you not to. Okay, that's it.
Wow, I could have saved 20 minutes by saying, just freaking do something. That's it in a nutshell. Just freaking do something. Make a better choice with your time or your actions. It's up to you. Anybody got anything else to say before we end it?
Yeah, I just want to pick up on that massive action thing. And in line with Deb talking about working with newbies and what have you. When I came into this field a couple of years ago, excuse me, brand new, I knew nothing about it, absolutely nothing. I never even realized that there was online marketing. I never really knew what the hell Ellie was doing in front of the computer all the time. So one of the first people that we started listening to, I won't mention his name. It wasn't bad, you know, it wasn't his fault. He's brilliant, and he used to say all the time, take massive action, and he did. He took massive action, and he is highly successful today. But Ellie and I were just talking about this, I don't know, was it this morning or yesterday? She's not the only one that gets the days mixed up. But we were talking about this idea of massive action, and you know, we're also taught to focus on one thing, master it, implement it, master it, and at that point, move on to something else if you so desire. So when this guy used to talk about massive action, I would just get on the darn computer and get on webinar after webinar after webinar and try to learn all at once, you know, because I sure as hell didn't know how to implement. So I said, well, let me take what I can, and later on I'll figure it out. And you just end up getting all mixed up and talk about shiny ball syndrome and all that stuff. Oh my God. So yeah, this philosophy of Jeff Olson is, like you said, just do something. Just do something. Do just a little bit every day, and it makes a difference. So yeah, I picked up some more stuff just from listening to everybody talking about this. So thank you. Glad, and like I said before, I'm glad that you presented this new show.
I got to jump in here before I forget this. So if you do just a little bit every day, it eventually becomes massive action. There you go.
Boom. There you go.
Yeah, look at that frog. I mean, he just paddled around and paddled around and paddled around, and it ended up being massive action. It saved his life, for God's sakes.
That's right. And a lot of people, I mean, not everybody can take massive action all the time. So, anyway, anybody got anything else to say? Okay.
No, I dropped the mic. That's it. I'm done.
I know. We'll end on that. So we're on the Bold team, and we are a team, a community, motivate, inspirate, motivate and inspire each other. And if you want to be part of our team, or if you want more information on what we do, there's a big green button down there. Just click the button. And we will see you next Tuesday. Set your calendar. Next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. We are always here. All right? So I'll see you next Tuesday. Have a great rest of your night. Bye.
Bye-bye.